Well, hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to Sci-Finatics. Well, today we're talking about the new Ghostbusters movie, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Got some great photos to have a look at and some really interesting and very positive news about this new film that is really going to make a lot of Ghostbusters fans very happy, I think. The new movie out in cinemas at the end of March this year, so not too long to wait. And some of these new photos that have come out this week show some images that, are really, this is going to be a good Ghostbusters movie. The previous one was okay. I enjoyed it, but there were certain aspects to that first Ghostbusters movie, Afterlife, that, I think maybe people thought was going to be a little bit better. I thought the absence of New York in the movie kind of took away from that Ghostbusters mythology a little bit, and also the fact that our OG Ghostbusters basically only came into the film right at the very end for essentially kind of short cameo type appearances. But that is all going to change with this new film, because these new photos that have just come out show a really strong appearance by all of the OG Ghostbusters. They're going to be in it quite a bit more from what I understand, but not only that, we're getting some other characters as well from Ghostbusters that are going to be in it as well. It's really exciting photos to take a look at today. Before we get into it, if you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics yet, be sure to do so. Click on that big subscribe button to stay current and up to date with all the latest sci-fi TV and movie news on YouTube. Okay, so let's take a look at these photos and see what they've got to offer. So firstly, most of these photos are courtesy of Empire magazine, and this first one shows not only our original Ghostbusters, we see obviously Venkman and Stantz and Zeddemore there with all their ghost busting kit, but not only that, Janine is a Ghostbuster. She finally gets to upgrade her involvement with the Ghostbusters beyond just their receptionist. She's now donning the Ghostbusters boiler suit, and no doubt she's getting involved with the ghost busting as well, which I think is so good. Like, obviously with the tragic passing of Harold Ramis, there's a void there that needs to be filled that, I think Janine is perfect to step into. She's one of the original characters. She's always been a funny, quirky character. Her and Egon, even maybe had a little bit of a thing going on there. So I think that's a really welcome sight to see her become one of the official Ghostbusters in this movie. Obviously, on the other side of the screen here, in the image here from Empire magazine, we've got the new Ghostbusters. We've got Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, and also McKenna Grace. They were introduced in the previous film. So it looks like we're going to be getting a bit of tag team ghostbusting going on here with, obviously, the threat that faces New York is so extreme that we have to have, I guess, two groups of Ghostbusters doing different, maybe, missions at the same time. And also this photo shows the return of Slimer. If we look up here in the top corner here, we see Slimer is back for this movie. We've even got a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man sitting on top of the Ecto-1 amongst other little Stay Puft Marshmallow Men as well. Men sliding down the hood of the Ecto-1 as well. We've got a very threatening looking ghost in the background there, which looks like some sort of gigantic dinosaur-like ghost, which looks very formidable. And a bit of new kit. We've got the hovering drone there with a ghost trap attached to it. So obviously ghost traps, rather than just being slid across the ground on wheels, or as we saw in the last film, the ghost-busting ghost trap mounted to a remote control car on wheels on the ground. We've now advanced our technology a little bit more so, and we've got a flying a drone there with a ghost trap attached to it, which I'm looking forward to seeing. Let's take a look at some of more of the promo images and so forth for the film, and then I'm going to get into some really interesting news about other returning characters to the movie, which is really exciting stuff. Here's a new poster showing a very frozen looking New York. We've got the Ghostbusters there in these new red outfits that are, obviously meant for cold weather climates. We've got Ecto-1 looking pretty frozen over. We've got a very ominous looking ghost here with the very big horns, very slender frame and big, needle-like hands, which obviously is, I'm guessing, going to be the Gozer equivalent, so the big bad ghost in this movie. Above that character, obviously, we've got this big sort of serpent-like or dinosaur-like ghost as well. So if I had to guess, I would say this kind of serpent ghost is probably going to be the equivalent of the Terror Dogs we saw in the first movie. Our character below that is going to be our sort of Gozer equivalent, if I had to if I had to make a guess. Obviously, we've got the Empire State Building there. I think it is in New York with a massive swirling vortex above it and heaps of ghosts and everything flying around the sky with lightning and everything. It looks like it's going to be some exciting visuals in this new film, which looks great. Here's another version of the same poster. This time, we've obviously got the Brooklyn Bridge there in the background. Same big serpent-like ghost there in the middle of the frame above Ecto-1, as well as the other horned ghost boss, I'm guessing he is. And then obviously we see Slimer there. Just to the left there, we've got a shot of Slimer there. So it looks like Slimer is back, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. In this shot, we see the Ecto-1 and the OG Ghostbusters. Janine, Venkman, Ray, and Winston obviously on the run, looking like they're either chasing something or running away from something. Based on the background and everything there, it looks like this is in the firehouse, the Ghostbusters firehouse, which tracks with some of the images we've seen from the trailer that came out a little while ago. So good to see these guys back and doing their ghostbusting thing again. My one criticism of the previous film is that we didn't get enough of the OG Ghostbusters in the first movie. They only just appeared really quite briefly at the end of the first film, but it looks like their involvement in this second film is going to be quite substantial. In this shot, we see Paul Rudd's character and Carrie Coon's character looking up at the ceiling of the basement in the Ghostbusters headquarters. Obviously, we've got the containment facility there on the wall, and there's a massive hole through all those cinder blocks and everything behind it. So obviously something has broken out from behind the containment facility. We've got all those icicles hanging from the roof, and it looks like Paul Rudd with his shorts on there, maybe a little underdressed for the sudden change in climate that these ghosts are going to be putting on for New York. Here's a great shot of Winston and Peter Venkman doing their thing, proton packs on. Looks like we've got, based on the light on their faces, probably a bit of that light's coming off a ghost that they're facing off against. So it's cool we're seeing them, doing their old thing again. Now here's the other piece of exciting news that I've got about this new Ghostbusters movie, is looking at this shot. We've obviously got Winston in a suit and the new Ghostbusters in some kind of meeting or conference. Now, based on the stuff we've got on the blackboard behind them, we've got risk management and all that sort of stuff written on the board there. This character, who at the moment we can only see the back of their head in this shot, but this guy is got to be Walter Peck. Walter Peck, the EPA guy from the first Ghostbusters movie. Ray called him Dickless at one point or whatever. So it looks like Walter Dickless Peck is back in this movie. He's obviously giving some sort of EPA briefing here to the Ghostbusters. Make sure you do this. Make sure you don't do that. Like, let's not wreck the city. He's no doubt he's going to be an absolute jerk like he was in the first film. And not to mention, William Atherton has pretty much made a career on playing the asshole character in all the films he's been in. From, he was the same sort of character in Die Hard and Die Hard 2, the journalist or whatever, and obviously in Ghostbusters as well. He plays the jerk, extraordinarily well. So it'll be great to see his character back in this film. Here's a really cool shot of Slimer. Looks like they're trying to catch Slimer because they've got like a trail of food or something there on the ground leading to a ghost trap. And one of the Ghostbusters, which I think is probably Finn Wolfhard in the bottom right-hand corner of frame there, is lining up a shot to trap Slimer in the ghost trap there. So it's so cool to see Slimer back. Walter Peck back. We've got Slimer back. Janine's a Ghostbuster. All the OG Ghostbusters are back. This is really filling me with a lot of confidence to be an even better Ghostbusters movie than the previous one. Now, the other thing they seem to be doing in this movie is taking a bit of a page out of the animated Ghostbusters series book, The Real Ghostbusters. There were some really good episodes of the animated series as well. A few of those episodes were written, by J. Michael Straczynski, who obviously you guys would know as being the creator and writer for most of Babylon 5. He wrote a lot of these Real Ghostbusters animated episodes, and it looks like they're taking a little bit of a borrowing from the Real Ghostbusters animation with this character we've got here. He's obviously part of the Ghostbusters team. We've obviously expanded the Ghostbusters operation quite substantially, maybe thanks to Winston, because obviously in the last film it turned out that Winston had made a bit of money in finance and everything, so he's obviously thrown a bit of money back into the Ghostbusters operation. We've got this character here with the blonde curly hair, with the glasses, who looks very reminiscent of how the animated version of Egon Spengler looked in the Real Ghostbusters animated series. So it looks like this character here, who's a bit of a scientist character, who's possibly going to be like the Ghostbusters version of Q from James Bond, who maybe is introducing them to a bit of new kit, bit of new hardware. In the background, we see somebody using the slime cannon that we saw in Ghostbusters 2, showering somebody with the positively charged slime or whatever it was from that film. So great to see those little nods to the original movies back in it again. But it definitely looks like from this character here, we've got as our new kind of Egon Spengler replacement, or like a Q from James Bond. He's going to be very much inspired by the animated real Ghostbusters look of Egon Spengler in that, which is a really great nod, I think. Also good to see the podcast character back in it again. And if we look at Lucky's arm here, she was obviously in the first movie as well. There's a little bit of a modification here to the Ghostbusters logo. It kind of looks like a cog or a gear. I wonder whether this means Ghostbusters departments have got different sort of divisions, like an engineering department, for example, that they're in right now, developing new hardware and so forth. We see a shot of our lizard, dinosaur-esque ghost flying down one of the streets in New York there, looking very ominous. Here's a shot of Venkman giving a bit of a pep talk to Gruberson, standing obviously in the basement of the Ghostbusters firehouse with the containment grid facility there behind Gruberson there on the wall. Cool shot of Ecto-1, stopped at a intersection there in New York somewhere. Camera vehicle there, obviously, to the right-hand side of frame. You can see the camera rig on the roof of the car there, so obviously there's some sort of tracking shot going on there. And here's some of the new Ghostbusters. We've got Gruberson there, Paul Rudd's character, and the three Spenglers, mother, daughter, and son. Obviously Carrie Coon, McKenna Grace, and Finn Wolfhard there as those characters. Looks like they're in some sort of office situation. Whether this is like the mayor's office or something. It looks like some sort of very official timber desk and a little leather furniture. Obviously in the first film they had to go and have a bit of a talk to the mayor of New York and everything. So whether this is sort of, something similar. So that'll be interesting to see. But it's no doubt, looking at a lot of these photos and obviously also having seen the teaser trailer, that this is going to be a good Ghostbusters movie. This is going to be, I think, the Ghostbusters movie that we probably wanted, even though Afterlife was good. I enjoyed Afterlife. Yeah, the absence of New York and the very small appearance by the original Ghostbusters, I think, just took it down a peg for me, but it looks like they're remedying that in this new film with not only all of them, but we've got Janine being a Ghostbuster, we've got Slimer back, we've probably got Walter Peck back as well, and we've got New York back as the setting for the film. So I think that's going to make for an amazing Ghostbusters movie. But guys, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let's get chatting about that. What are you hoping for this new Ghostbusters movie? And do all of these photos plus the teaser trailer that's come out, does that fill you with confidence it's going to be a good Ghostbusters movie? I'm cautiously positive. Leave me know your thoughts and we'll get chatting about that. Guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. It helps out immensely, everything with the algorithm and whatnot. And also be sure to check out all my merch in the merch store. Plenty of cool t-shirts and hoodies and mugs and caps, stickers, you name it, it's all there. Really good, bargain prices and everything, and help support the channel at the same time. Guys, I'll be back very soon with the next video. I'll see you soon.